nature-based tourism and getting excited about it, it's very good to be careful that we always have to think about sustainability. Are we going to do it today and still make sure that the generations coming after us will continue to do it sustainably? I will give you an example of Kisite. Now you've reminded me. Let me come back to you. How many of you have gone to Kisite National Park to snorkel and to see dolphins? How many?
We have as a class.
Hey, you talk for yourself. Have you, Derek?
Yes, I have ever been to there.
Okay. Did you snorkel?
We went into the ocean. We had a look at the islands. Isn't it?
You had a look at the island. Did you get into the water?
Yes.
Oh, great. So did you see the beautiful coral reefs?
Yeah, the place was nice.
Oh, great. And who did you go with? Oh, the people you went with are not in this class?
They are.
Oh, okay. That's a first. Who are they?
We went as a whole class.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So you have done some, okay, fine. Who was paying?
It was facilitated by the university.
By the university?
Yeah.
Hiyo ilikuwa basi ni masomo. That was not tourism. Sindio Okeri? Where is Okeri? Okeri is not in class, but their name is there. So
I'm in class, madam.
So did you also? So I was saying this was facilitated by the university. So probably we need to see more of the, not necessarily being facilitated by the university, but coming out of you where you desire to go and get involved. So what we are saying is that if you look at Kisite Marine National Park, it's a beautiful place, beautiful corals and everything. And so many tourists come to visit. But we always have to think about sustainability. If we don't control at times the number of people going there in any one given day, if we don't control what they can do and what they can't do, then you can be sure that after some time, there'll be no Kisite Marine National Park because the corals are going to be damaged, biodiversity is going to disappear, and you're just going to be left with dead corals. So there have to be rules that have to be followed very, very strictly if we have to make sure that we continue enjoying this and the generations after us continue to enjoy this. So it is therefore important to develop forums or platforms also where cross-border solutions are sought. Why? Because some of these natural resources are transboundary. I like giving the example of the Serengeti and the Masai Mara. Even if it reaches a point where Kenya and Tanzania go to war, God forbid, the Mara and the Serengeti remain connected. So when I go to the Serengeti, which is vast, the Serengeti is beautiful. I've driven through it, very, very beautiful. Funny enough, I've driven through Serengeti, but not through Masai Mara, although I've been to the Mara. And the two countries have to keep talking because they share this resource. It is natural, they share it, and they have their tourism sector developed around some of these natural resources. So there has to be a meeting point between these two countries where they can sit and discuss and make a way forward. I like giving an example of, there's a time that Tanzania wanted to build a road across the Serengeti. And Kenya said no. Yeah, it is true, the road was in Tanzania, that's okay, it was their road, but Kenya said no. And they just follow those transboundary principles. They say if you do that, then you're going to affect the wildebeest and the other animals that use both ecosystems. And Tanzania listened, and they didn't go ahead with the road. So that's what I'm saying. With nature-based tourism, when it comes to transboundary resources, countries have to keep talking. Now, nature tourism, as I said, is dependent on natural attractions offered by an area. Nature-based tourism includes all forms of tourism where relatively undisturbed natural environments form the primary attraction or setting. So if someone is coming from wherever they are coming, whatever is bringing them there is that natural resource. They may end up doing other things, but the primary thing, whatever they want to do, whatever they want to see, is based on that natural thing that they are coming to see. So it is very important also that we we continue to conserve what remains natural and what remains undisturbed, even in our country, because that continues to form the basis for our current nature-based tourism and even the future. So that means we should also be ready to invest money to conserve these areas. For example, like Kisite, the Kisite Marine National Park is a no-take zone. The fishermen are not allowed to take a single fish out of there. And of course, this has always been an issue between the fishermen and KWS. But I think KWS has remained adamant and say you can't take. The moment we allow you into the marine park, that will become the end of the marine park. So they have continued to deny them that, and hoping that the people will also realize the importance of that reserve and end up agreeing with the government here. There are benefits we get from here. So let's continue to support this. No. Okay. I'm trying to upload another video. So just give me a minute or two. I'll be there. So okay, I'm trying, I'll be there. Just close every unnecessary. Let's see whether I'm able to upload this. If it doesn't work, then it's just, I want you to look at this. I want you to watch this video. I'll not allow you to watch the whole video. It's going to take time. But I want you to look, just watch this video and just tell me, what is it you're doing? What would you want to go there? And what would take you into this Lauterbrunnen city or village in Switzerland? So I want you to have a look at it and tell me what you think would take you into this. So this is one of the most beautiful villages in Switzerland.
Go to PowerAfricaSolar.com to find out what the doctor ordered for power blackouts in Kenya and how
So I want you to tell me, what would you want to go to such a place, and what would take you there? Would you be ready to pay money to go to such a place?
I like to get deals done in a fairly candid manner and quickly.
So I want you to look, I want you to tell me what you are seeing and what you are not seeing. So I'm just forwarding it because I don't think you have the time to watch everything, but I'll send you the link if you want to watch everything. You look at this particular one, actually, this is glacier, almost frozen water that is flowing. So back to class. Back from Sweden. So I hope you have enjoyed that short video, but I want to hear from you. I want to hear from you. What did you see? And what would you like to go there and see? So I'm just going to start from Abraham. There we go. And I'm going to start recording the names of those people who are absent. If I call your name and you don't answer, I'm just writing your name. Abraham Lelgo. So he's not in. It shows like he's in and he's not in. Okay. Anyoso Mikanga.
Yes, madam, present. I am in.
So what did you see, Anyoso? And what would you want to go to such a place? What would take you?
First of all, I would really love to reach at such a place, and I love the landscape.
Just speak loudly, please.
Okay, I'm saying what have made me interested in visiting such a place is the landscape of that area, the waterfall, and the way that environment is.
Okay. Yes, that is true. Thank you, Anyoso. Esther, what did you see? Just apart from what Esther saw and you also saw, what else did you see that you thought, I would love to go and see this beautiful place?
Okay, well, the landscape of that place is beautiful. The mountains, they are so huge, and I loved the waterfalls because they say that they have so many waterfalls. And the big one, the Murenbach waterfall, with the many waterfalls from the glacier melting, they are interesting to see.
Okay, thank you, Esther. Joy Alice. What else did you notice or love in that place? There's still so much, actually. Joy Alice, go ahead.
Development and pollutions and human interruptions. So it's a good place to go and chill and get away from stressing things like the noise in the urban areas.
Okay, so you notice it's a very, very quiet place. Almost
Yes.
you can almost trust the air that you breathe, that this is clean air. What else, Kalami Paul?
Yes, I think the scenery generally, the waterfalls and the mountains, I think they bring some sort of peaceful scenario of which anyone can enjoy.
Okay, thank you. Kamau Mbuthia, what else did you see? Am I the only one who saw? What else did you see that was, she said, oh, that was cute. This is interesting.
I would say nothing much except the whole scenery, the plantations, and above all, the calmness of the area and the noise making of the birds and waterfalls.
Okay, asante. Kenganyevu, did he come back or he disappeared for good? Kenga?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, Stella, what else did you see apart from what they've mentioned?
I would like to see the mountains and the rivers mostly. That was what I saw.
Okay, thank you. I'm still wondering, nobody saw the goats?
Yeah, I was about to say that one.
You're about to say that. The goats that sort of live, they live in the village. Remember, this is a village. They live in the village, and yet they seem to be living so sustainably, so well. They're well taken care of. They're well fed. They are not excess. They don't go eating grass. Everybody's grass. They are controlled. Wow, that is good. But I'm also wondering, what did you not see that made you happy? You didn't see it and it made you happy. Chembi said. Chembi?
Yes.
What did you not see and you're like, wow, it is good that this is not here, I didn't see it?
I enjoy the serenity of that place. It's like a village. It's so clean, free from pollution, and I love the landscape and the rivers. It got very clean water in the rivers; they are not polluted.
That's true. So did you notice that you didn't see any car? Cars, vehicles.
I didn't see any vehicles.
There were none on the road. So even if they were there, probably they were parked. And of course, this I'm talking to everybody. The cars were parked somewhere. And so you didn't have to walk and keep moving out of the road for the cars and that kind of thing. So it's a beautiful scenery, a beautiful place, something that make you want to pay money, to save money and go to such a place and just enjoy being there. Breathing in that clean water. And there's a part I think some of that water, because it's so clean, right from because this is in the Swiss Alps, very, very unpolluted area. They tap in that water and you can actually take it and drink it. It's good water. So I want you now to imagine, unfortunately, I don't have a video of Dubai, but that is where we started. So think about Dubai and think about this village. I want to leave that question with you. Where would you choose to go? So don't answer me, think about it as we continue. So, so you're saying nature-based tourism is basically experiencing natural places, typically through outdoor activities. Maybe you're climbing, you're walking, you're running, whatever it is you're doing. And these activities should be sustainable in terms of their impact on the environment. For example, in that piece up, the only thing that you do is just walking through the place, enjoying nature. You're not polluting. If you've noticed, it was very clean. You didn't see any overflowing taka bins, okay? You didn't see, the environment looked so pristine. You almost wonder, does anybody ever go there? And even those that go there, maybe if you have to climb right up, there are trails. You don't just walk through anywhere. There are trails. So most of the place is still left undisturbed. Nature continues the way it's supposed to be. Animals, the biodiversity there remains undisturbed. That is what we call nature-based tourism. Tourism that promotes sustainable use of nature. Now, the activities for nature-based tourism can range from active to passive, like when you're walking and everything, that is active. But you can also attempt, just decide to go and sit and view or just enjoy nature, just in a place and just enjoy that nature. Well, the day maybe bring a picnic there and just sit and not do much and just enjoy nature and appreciate it. So there are categories of nature-based tourism. So,
Madam, we are not seeing your screen.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Okay. Sorry. Oh, sorry. I had stopped sharing. Sorry about that. So you are here. This is where I started from. And then now I'm here. I said there are 4 categories of nature-based tourism. And This is there were, if you are following the news, there were so many people at the airports. They just wanted to leave their country and go elsewhere. Go and relax and get our mind off this stress and that kind of thing. So that is what happened in Europe. And like, people just wanted to leave their countries and go and travel. And one of the reasons, so some of the reasons are different. Some people are feeling so depressed under lockdown, and they feel like, well, I need to get out. Some people probably felt lost and they needed to search for self again. So that is one of the categories. Some people just want to go to a quiet place away from the kawaida things they see, and maybe just get an orientation on themselves. Who am I? What am I here for? Where do I want to go? Probably. So they would like to go somewhere away from the familiar and a place that would, an environment that would enable them to do that. Others just want to go for entertainment, yeah, of whatever sort. But remember, in nature, others want, it's just a state of being. And some as a form of social affiliation. Maybe you want to go out with your friends and just have a time to meet and bond and do some activities together, whatever. Those are the categories of nature-based tourism. Now, human relationships with natural environments change over time. And they also differ between countries and demographic groups. And this is what we are trying to talk about. If you look at the West, their relationship with nature, I think, is much stronger than our relationship with nature here in Africa. And I think we just proved that. So we are saying, okay, how many people go to a natural place, go and sit in a park, go and sit in a beach? Even those of us who live at the coast, how many times would you say I've gone for a walk at the beach? Very rarely. But if a fisherman will go and fish, akimaliza anarudi kwake. But just a person probably who is working in the city of Mombasa and says, oh, once a week, I make sure I go to the beach and sit there and enjoy the beach and all that it has to offer. So people's relationship with nature differs between countries, between demographic groups and that kind of thing. So in the West, nature has a relatively short history as a tourist attraction. I'll tell you why. In the West, I think most of the pristine nature is gone. Most of the natural is gone. So in most cases, they have what you call just something that they have come up with. It's not natural. At least what we watched in the Swiss Alps, that is natural. And it looks so pristine, which is very good. And maybe if you noticed also, this was just a village. No industries, no big things to bring pollution and everything. So everything's more or less just natural. But in the West, I think most of their natural environment is gone. And they have been left with a lot which is not natural. So, but as I said before, Africa, we're still so lucky because we still have quite a bit of our natural. So, and then also you remember in the West, there are so many places that have become cities. Again, when you look at that village you are looking at, it's not a city, it's just a village, not even a town, it's just a village. So I think with nature-based tourism, the aim is to develop these opportunities in the rural areas, in those remote areas. And in doing so, you're avoiding mass tourism. If you look at Diani Beach, for example, that is where almost all our hotels at the South Coast are. So when it's a tourism season, it is everybody, every Tom, Dick, and Harry is there. When you look at nature tourism, in most cases, it happens in very rural areas, very secluded places that are still remote, very undegraded, very undefiled. So those are the targeted areas for nature tourism. And most of these areas actually, not very many people go there. So you avoid the mass tourism. Okay, the masses bring the money, but they also bring with them the degradation. So individual nature-based tourism experience, that depends on an individual perception or the constructions of nature. So what are the forms of nature-based tourism? One of them is what we call adventure tourism. If you look at that man, he's actually, I think he's just been dropped. Maybe he was skydiving on a snow area, an area covered by snow. That is snow. And for him, I think the issue was he was going there so that he can be able to skydive in that particular place. That is adventure. He's adventurous. He's going for that. And it can include so many activities, including hiking, bushwalking, mountain biking, bicycling, all those. Okay, so I'm not going to spend more time on that. That is self-explanatory. Then there's also special interest tourism. Special interest tourism and its various subsets can also encompass some particularly challenging but potentially high spending special interest market segments. So what happens in special interest tourism? Maybe it's a group of people who want to do something that is not so common. Okay. And this thing that is not so common is also maybe very expensive. But packages are organized for such people. They are ready to pay the money and their interest is very special. Probably there are just a few people, but also because there are few people, it is very costly. And there are some people who are ready to pay for that. Yeah. So if you see this guy, he's going, I don't know, he's rock climbing. I have no idea where this is. Very, very difficult activities. In fact, at times you wonder, why on earth does someone want to go and do this kind of thing? They're just stressing themselves. Yeah, but there are people ready to pay money to do that. I'm here to see Kenyans get to this level. Yeah. Tell me, the day you come across a Kenyan going rock climbing, just tell me, give me a call. I'll be the first one to congratulate them. So these often comprise socially and environmentally aware, very highly educated people. I have a professor of mine who supervised me for my PhD. And every year he has to go to very, very challenging activity. So I think just the year before COVID, they went to the Antarctica and they were going to climb snow mountains. And they decided as a group, they are a group of a few people that were ready to pay. And they decided, and they're very, very highly educated. I mean, university professors and that kind. So they decided they want to go by sea from the UK. And they say, oh, we are going to hire a boat and we are going to steer the boat ourselves. And it was so difficult. He told me he fell sick and they had to steer, they didn't have an engine, so they had to do the rowing, just the oaring, just the paddling, using paddles. And they're there in the sea, the water is so cold. And he was like, it was so difficult. But because they had paid for it, and it was not especially cheap, they were ready to go for it. And they had to go and climb these snow mountains. Very, very risky activity. But well, that is what they wanted, the risk, the challenge. So I asked him, why do you have to do all these things instead of staying at home and enjoying a warm place? No, saying, no, it's the challenge. It's the challenge. I also go there to learn more. I go there to verify what I've been teaching in class. So yeah, so this is a special interest kind of tourism. As I said, it's very expensive, but well, there is a segment of people that are ready to do that. Then there is what we call wildlife tourism. We have a lot of that. This one I don't even have to. In Kenya, we have a lot of that. The tourists going to the Mara, to wherever. Now tell me, you see the picture that I have put there? Okay. Tuko pamoja. Where was that picture taken from? Anybody who gets it gets 200 shillings. Where was that picture taken? If you know, just put up your hand. Anyone? Ogega Musiara. Hiyo picha ilichukuliwa wapi? Hao wanyama wako wapi? Obvious, not Kenya. No idea? Okay, Rinyamu. Okay, Ogega, sorry.
No idea, madam.
No idea. Okay, what about Clifford? Do you have an idea?
Not really, but I can give a try.
Give it a try.
Seems like
Huh?
in Indonesia.
Where?
Indonesia.
Indonesia. No, it's not. It was not taken in Indonesia. But thanks for trying.
Madam.
Yes.
Malaysia.
Sorry?
Malaysia.
Oh, Malaysia. No.
Australia.
Thailand.
Kalamipong.
Yeah, I think it's Australia or Madagascar.
Hapana.
Thailand.
Not Thailand. No.
Egypt.
Australia.
Not Egypt, not Australia. Come on. Muchembi said.
London.
What? Really? London? Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. It's an island. Let me give you a hint. 2 more trials. It's an island.
Mauritius.
No, and it's a very nataka kujua kama mlifanya biology nyinyi. Very, very famous.
Madagascar.
No. Come on. Very, very famous island for scientific work. I'm giving you more hints.
Comoros, Ireland.
Sorry? Louis Lumni. Is that your real name? Where is that? Okay, final hint. It starts with a G. It's an island and it starts with a G. G for gate. No. Nyinyi mlifanya biology kweli? Have you ever heard of the Galapagos Island?
Kenga said that.
Did he say Galapagos? Kenga, did you say Galapagos Island? Wacha aseme. Eh? Did you?
She's having a network problem, but I also have the same one.
Akirudi atatuambia. You know?
On the messages, madam.
Sorry? Okay, you're saying something.
Okay, she's saying that Kenga texted it via hapo kwa chat.
Okay, it's the Galapagos Island. If you remember Charles Darwin, if you remember the beagle, Beagle, the beagle, the ship he traveled in, this is where he went, and this is what I think inspired him to come with the theory of evolution. So read biology, my dears. Read, get informed. So let's go back to our presentation. So yeah, these are tourists. So you have wild. So why I didn't put zebras or whatever, those ones I know you're aware of, but these creatures are found. If you just look at the creatures, you know where these are found. These ones are found in the Galapagos Island. So let's continue. The next one is what we call sustainable tourism. So sustainable tourism may be defined as tourism which is economically viable, but does not destroy the resources on which the future of tourism will depend, notably the physical environment and the social fabric of the host community. And as you can see in that image, say, please leave nothing but your footprints, only where you walked. Don't leave anything else. And probably don't take anything else, just memories and good pictures. Yeah. So I think this is very good. I think this is a very, very good motto or slogan. And so I'm not going to spend much time on that. That's very self-explanatory. Now, I have two activities, and I want us to go into breakout rooms. Now, in the breakout rooms, the first activity I want you to do is to discuss how tourism has contributed to environmental as well as moral degradation. And let's focus on coastal tourism in Kenya. So that's the first activity. So the second one, we are going to do it later. But I just want you in your group to discuss how tourism has contributed to environmental as well as moral degradation in this country, especially at the coast. So I want us to go into breakout rooms. I want 4 breakout rooms. Each room is going to have 15 minutes. Each we're going to have 15 minutes each. And maybe let's see what happens if we have 5 rooms. I want to see. Or 3 rooms. Let's have 3 rooms. So we are going to have 3 rooms. It's going to take 5 minutes, 15 minutes. I can see some people are not in completely. But anyway, I'm going to open up the rooms. I want you to go to your room.
Hilo mko wengi aje?
Kwani unasikia upumui vizuri ama?
Are we supposed to start discussing ama mwalimu amesema?
Yeah.
This is a break.
How
Basi
tourism
si watu
contributes
wachangamke.
to economic and environmental degradation.
Okay, like tourists when they go to this to the beach wanaendaga wanaacha plastics, wanaacha vitu kama viatu zingine zinasaulika huko ama glasses, sunglasses. Alafu kuna saa zingine when they use the sunscreen wanachafua ocean.
Thank you, I see. Next. Maandikwa.
Yes, tunaweza ongelea kuhusu corals. Especially wanapenda kufanya snorkeling. They trample on the corals, they destroy the corals. Yes.
Awesome, thank you. Peter Thuo. Peter. Peter yuko. Kenga. The floor is yours. My contribution concerning how tourism contributes to environmental and moral degradation.
Let's talk of.
Yep.
Natural habitat loss is another way how tourists contribute to degradation.
Mm-hmm.
This occur when those tourists build structures around the shores there where some organism has their habitat there, thus interfering.
True.
Hello guys. What points have you come up? My point.
Ni mic ya nani? So to add on what Malevi is saying, I would say that the tourism has contributed to coastal development, which leads to massive destruction of natural habitat, which are mostly used for as nesting ground for an animal like sea turtle, contributing to mass loss of the local species. Nimemaliza.
Me, I will contribute on the aspect of the moral degradation. Tourism, as we know, brings people from different places, and in line also with the perception of our nations and the way of life of people, there will be that attraction to tourists and the rest. So generally it will lead to prostitution. Yeah, prostitution, and also the change in the cultural setup of the society. Like for example, you find the dressing aspect will be affected, the dressing aspects, and also the relational aspects.
On addition to the points that you've said, I think we also have the heavy traffic in the region where tourism is taking place. This one you find that the infrastructure found in those areas, let's say the coastal areas, for example, Mombasa, can cope up with the increased rush of vehicles on the road. So you find out that there is a lot of congestion, overcrowding. We also have the poor sanitation, and this may lead to diseases. Yeah, who's going to present?
Excuse me guys, tunajibu swali gani? So I can contribute my own because my phone is almost going off na siko place kuna stima. Please.
So saa hizi tuko kwa moral degradation, contribution of tourism to moral degradation along the coast.
Okay, morals in terms of values za the locals. Yes?
Yeah.
Okay. Me, what I can say, most of the time when the locals come, the tourists come to a place where, for instance, Upper Kenya, you find that the people who are in that area, they probably sell stuff at a higher rate to the tourists. So I think morally that is not okay. They should be treated equally. Yeah, alafu another thing is probably
Allah.
So mi kitu naweza sema ni morals za watu sidhani kazi zinakuaga like that genuine to the tourist, but sometimes the locals are also very very supportive in terms of being kind and hospitable, but in terms of degradation mi kitu naweza sema maybe ni hiyo kuuziwa vitu expensive na vitu kama hizo.
Some other points of mine, check kwa charts.
Yeah, I think Maureen, you're right. Concerning the crimes, we can also talk about drug abuse. Like when you go to the beaches, you see a lot of people are smoking, others are chewing mirrors, maybe as a result of influence from others, or just as a result of like they see that it is like an adventure. So I think it's also an implication, like a form of moral degradation.
Yeah, very true. So the one to present kindly, not the point down.
Alright.
So were we discussing question 2?
Question 2 will be discussed later.
Okay.
So I hope Mike know na present.
To add on environmental degradation, we have got more noise emanating from the vehicles that will be on the streets, noise pollution. We have improper waste disposal, yes, which may disturb the ecological balance of the coastal region. So add on that.
Okay, so if we can summarize the points, there is pollution, noise pollution, water pollution, all the sorts, plastics. The one presenting will explain. Then we have coastal development. I don't know how you'll explain that, but then in terms maybe of hotels or destruction of like mangroves. There's another point we said about addressing and crimes and drug abuse. Another point on heavy traffic. Another point on natural ecosystem loss. Another point is road breakages. I think they're enough.
On ukuja kwa environment, I think we can add the issue of poaching. Since tourism provides a good market for the the endangered species, now the now that we have a good market, the tendency of poaching becomes high and the rate becomes high as well. So that's just what I thought of.
Umeongeza pointi ngapi likiwa siku?
There is also pressure on the species that are being toured on. For example, Isha. I hope hizo problems zangu haziishi. Bwana hawa haijaisha.
Okay, welcome back. Let's wait for everybody to return. Okay, so let's hear from group one very quickly. 2 minutes. Just quickly tell us what you came up with. Group one, quickly.
Okay. I'll be presenting on behalf of Group 1. So environmentally, we found out that tourism contributes to the destruction of natural habitats. This is as a result of the coastal developments that always happens in terms of hotels and the rest. It's
Okay.
also contributes to pollution because when tourists come around, some of them do dumping in the ocean, maybe of their personal defects and also bottles and such kinds of things. And also the transportation, which equally contributes to pollution, the air pollution in particular, because when there is traffic jam and every other thing, there will be a lot of combustion that will release CO2 into the atmosphere. And morally, it contributes to tourism, contributes to prostitution, and also it also contributes to non-genuineness, more so in the trading sector where people hike prices of goods and services, mostly because we always believe that tourists have money. And also there will be that traditional breakdown, like there will be dishonor to customs and cultures by different people based on what is being introduced by tourism, by tourists. Yeah.
Okay, thank you, Michael. Sorry, the destruction of the habitat through the constructions, but also maybe you didn't think about even the trampling. The trampling, like if you go to the marine park at times and you see some of them stepping on the corals, they told not to step on the corals, but some of them go ahead and do that, maybe plucking something from the corals, and all that contribute to degradation, pollution. Pollution, when you're looking at it, don't just look at the tourists, look also at us who are serving them. We are the ones when it comes to trashing, throwing about litter. And of course, you've mentioned the issue of morality, prostitution. That is very, very rampant when there is high tourist influx. Then there are some joints which are working 24/7. And also for course, there has been a big issue on the girl child just being sent out to go and entertain the tourists for money. And of course, the issue of prices, exploitation on our sides, we forget our morals and go ahead and exploit and that kind of thing. Thank you. Group 2, do you have something that is different from what Group 1 had?
I think the points more so zinaingiana, but what I can add maybe on environmental degradation, we can talk of climate change, looking at it in the whole industry, whole tourism as an industry. We also have infrastructure development when we create like sea walls, and those interferes with our natural habitats. On moral degradation, you raised a point on sexual exploitation, but I can add on the intermarriages that further erodes our culture. We also have the rampant rise of beach boys culture. Yeah, that's what I have.
Yes, thank you. I hope you're writing all this down so that you will swap notes. Make sure you're making sure that you whatever. So beach boy, yeah, that's a serious one. There's a lot of it. Some very compromising marriages where even a married couple decides, oh, you go for a white girlfriend, go for a white boyfriend, so that we can bring more income into our homestead. That's very immoral. So Group 3, do you have something different from what Group 1 and 2 had? Group 3? Was there even a group 3? Louis, which group were you in? Louis, Muyamutuku, and Okenga Mosiera? Where are you? Yeah? Where are these people? Kenga? Sorry, Ogenga. Ogenga Musiara. Muya Mutuku. Kwanza huyo Muya Mutuku leo sijamuona. Alienda wapi? He didn't turn up today. Okay. So who was in group 3? And then make sure you register, because I can see the registered names are no longer there. Make sure you register again. I don't know where they went. So anyway, so I think we've been able to discuss that, and that's fair. That is good. And I'll give you links where you can go and look for more information so that you can document. Let's look at ecotourism. Can you see me sharing? Can you see my screen?
No.
Okay.
No, we can't see.
Okay, I present. So can you see it now?
Yes.
Okay. So we are looking at ecotourism. Ecotourism is an ecologically sustainable tourism with a primary focus on experiencing natural areas that foster environmental and cultural understanding, appreciation, and conservation. If you can look at that picture, probably this white couple with their little baby are in a very, they're not in a 5-star hotel. They look like they're living in a village, sort of an eco lodge made of natural materials, maybe in a rural setting where they are also going to be interacting with local communities. So look here in the definition of ecotourism, something has been introduced, the word cultural. So you're living with people, you are respecting the environment, but you're also respecting the cultural aspect of that particular place, and you're living in sync with it. You're not going against it. I'll give you an example. If you visited Lamu, they have put several notices everywhere. They say, this is a Muslim city or town, please dress decently. Okay. So if you decide to walk in your bikini all over, probably you can do that in Diani, but in Lamu, that is very offensive. That is being disrespectful of the culture, and that is totally unacceptable. So you're abusing their culture. So if it's ecotourism, then you have to remember to respect the culture of the people. Now, ecotourism operations should display several of these features. So these are like the principles of ecotourism. How do you know you're doing ecotourism? One of the principles is that ecotourism involves travel to natural destinations. So it has to be at the natural destination. Definitely Dubai is not a natural destination. So going to Dubai is not ecotourism. Okay, so these are generally environmentally protected areas. So the second one is minimizing impact. Tourism can cause resource impact all over, but ecotourism, it seeks to minimize any possible environmental impact, both through the use of sustainable, low-impact construction materials like what we have seen, and by regulating the conduct of ecotourists. You are told what to do. You can be told what to do and what not to do. You don't just go and do whatever you feel like, no. And as an ecotourist, then, if you know you're going for ecotourism, then you must be ready to abide. You don't start taking, oh, my rights and that kind of thing, no. You have to know this is an ecotourism experience, so you have to be ready to obey the rules or the directions that you're given in that particular setting. Ecotourism also builds on environmental awareness. So education should be directed at both the ecotourists and the communities involved with ecotourism projects. So you are educating both at the same time, okay? Then it provides direct financial benefits for conservation. So part of the proceeds from the tourism have to go to conservation. So ecotourism operations should actively put money towards further conservation efforts, be it research, protection, or resource management. So this is what would help you to know, are we doing ecotourism or not? Then it should be able to provide financial benefits and empowerment for local people. Remember, ecotourism is within a local community, a protected area within a local community. So successful ecotourism efforts require support of local residents, that's very true. And the efforts should of course have cooperation from the local residents. And these residents should also be involved in employment. You don't bring people from far to employ them. And they should also benefit in other ways from these ventures. Another thing is that, and I've already mentioned it, ecotourism projects should also strive to minimize the sort of power relationship always present between tourists and locals. What am I saying? There has to be respect for culture, and the values of local residents is very important. If, for example, you are a drunkard and you've gone for ecotourism, and in that community, people don't walk around drunk, then you can imagine if you decide to do so, then you really be offending these people. And don't expect them to excuse you because maybe you're a tourist when mgeni hapana. So that sort of power relations should change. You should respect them and they should respect you. Let me see whether we can watch this video. I don't know. Let me see whether we can watch it. And then, yeah, then we can, so just a minute.
Globally, there is a call for governments to exploit natural resources sustainably to improve and sustain their economies. This is in tandem with the recently launched Sustainable Development Goals. Kenya needs to heed this call by using its natural resource sustainably through and the Danish International Development Agency has supported for over a decade. Communities have benefited from nature-based enterprises such as beekeeping, agribusiness, ecotourism, fish farming, and water bottling. The result has been and continues to be that communities conserving natural resources benefit from conservation efforts. These are noble initiatives that continue to be supported by CDTF. The Community Development Trust Fund has been restructured to align itself with the county government system and will continue to support nature-based enterprise projects prioritized by communities. The Community Development Trust Fund, changing lives positively.
Okay. So if you notice, we've just introduced something else, and that is nature-based enterprises. So we are going to go into another breakout for just about 10 minutes. And based on what we have seen on that video, we are going actually like about 7 minutes. We are going to be in a group and we are going to discuss. Oh, sorry, somebody is playing in the background. Let me get rid of it. Okay. So we are going to go into groups again. I think I'm going to maintain the 3 groups. We are going to be there for just about 7 minutes. 7 minutes. And I just want you to discuss some of the the nature-based enterprises. Some of them have been mentioned in that group. I don't know where group 3 people are. Yeah, so I think we just have 2 groups. So 7 minutes. So everybody should join their group.
Community nature-based enterprises.
An opinion kindly. We have 7 minutes and we are remaining with 6 now.
Oh, we have beekeeping. That is a nature-based enterprise.
What about seaweed farming?
Yeah, that one is another one. Seaweed farming, beekeeping. And what about the shells that are being sold?
Yeah, I think it's a point. the shells, and then we can also look at there's some trip we went to Kuruwitu. I don't know what they were doing, but then that was like a community.
We also have the hotels that let's say they're in Watam and the activity is to sell the local meals, that is the crabs. So they use the crabs and as the meals, the cultural meals there, and sell it.
I also think community forests are also part of the nature-based.
Also have butterfly farming in Arabuko. Don't forget about it.
Yeah, I can see said about something about community conservancies.
An example of those community conservancies.
I almost said KWS.
KWS is not a conservancy, Moseti kindly. Say another one.
Kuna ka document nimeona hapa na kakona kadhaa, kanasema kuna ecotourism, apiculture, seed collection, dam collection, kuna butterfly farming. Those are the fees zenye zinaonekana hapa. Mwenye ana present anaweza tu zirecord.
Okay, and then another one on like the Kuruwitu community conserved areas. I don't know, something like that. Like in Kuruwitu where they were offering.
Someone kindly remind me of that, the women community, the community in South Coast that has developed mangrove nature walk. That one, where was that? Which community was that? The women. Butterfly.
What nature-based enterprises did you come up with?
In group one, I'm Maureen, but I'm using Diana's. So in group one, we came up with 3 enterprises. One, we have got beekeeping. Beekeeping, which takes place in mangrove areas, for example, in the mangroves in Gede, that is, and those of South Coast. We also have butterfly farming in Arabuko-Sokoke forest, and we have seaweed farming in Kibuyuni. So those are some of the 3 enterprises that we came up with that are being done in Kenya.
Okay, thank you, group 1. Group 2. Group 2. Is there anyone from group 2?
Yes.
Okay, tell us, what did you discuss? What nature-based enterprises did you come up with?
I think they are similar to what Group 1 has just said. Beekeeping, butterfly. We have maybe planting of mangroves. Then you have the seagrass meadow.
Sorry, seagrass what?
Seagrass, I think the planting of seagrass, I think, something like that.
Seagrass?
Yep.
No, I still don't understand. What do you do with seagrass?
For carbon, they help to reduce.
All right. That's an interesting one, but we are not yet there in Kenya. We are not yet there, but we have other carbon projects from nature. Which ones are those?
Mangrove.
Yes, we have the mangrove carbon project. So those are nature-based enterprises, and actually they come from what we call nature-based solutions. So from nature-based solutions, then we go to nature-based enterprises. So I was just introducing that. We'll have a look at it in the next lesson, God willing. I'm going to send you the notes and the PowerPoint presentations for each. And from next week, I'm going to give you work to already look at for next week. Make sure you don't bring me an excuse. Make sure you're looking into your work. Make sure you're doing it. And if I'm planning for a presentation, make sure you're ready with your work to present it. So no excuses. So I want to wish you well. Have a very good end of week. So we meet on Monday, God willing, ahead of Madaraka Day. So any questions?
Yes, I have a question, Madam. I was asking if the Gazi Boardwalk is also a nature-based enterprise.
Yeah, it is. It
Okay.
is. Yeah, because you're using it to generate money. You're not destroying it. You're not disturbing the mangroves, but you're using them to gain income, to inform people about what is happening there, and to teach people about mangrove conservation. So yeah, it is. We had left it out, but it is. Okay, then I think we stop there for today.